Hi everybody, thanks for clicking Treats TV, and I'm your host Chan. And please like, subscribe, whatever it is, the regular rigmarole that you do, please keep doing it. And let's get ready to rumble. Let's take this trip down a rabbit hole, because I'm about to say some things that you are not going to care for. But sometimes they need to be said. Ray Rice. Everybody probably knows the scandal. If you don't know it, please Google it. Is in the NFL, has a domestic violence situation, goes and puts his hand on his fiance at the time, now wife. But I'm going to cut to it because it becomes long and we have a lot to cover today. This is nothing new in the domestic violence sense, but here's what else is not new. NFL, NBA, police, military, I can't even begin to go down all the institutions, corporate environments, of which this is nothing new. Hookers have been getting beat on for years by people of position and power. Young girls in college have been raped on numerous occasions, and those things have been swept under the board because you don't want your son to lose his future. The NFL and the NBA are notorious for having women beaters in their midst. And a whole lot of other things that go on as far as young people. The military has known on numerous occasions that they've had women beaters in their midst. And at one point they used to bounce around, and it was the same thing with the child support. And what happens was that, it was so many reports and things like that. And if you're documenting things correctly, you can say, I told this one, this one, this one. Before it was a paper trail. Now it's a video and it's all these other things, and you can prove a phone call, so forth. Now it's just changed the game. But this is nothing new. And here's where I have a problem. America and YouTube. Why are y'all acting surprised? The police department has had women beaters in it for as long as there has been an Americanized police department. Now, because it can be seen, people want to say that this will not be tolerated and that the organization allowed and so forth and so forth. It has always been that way. Yes, it is a time for change, and you should have been changing it a long time ago. Because someone spoke up maybe before and told her, you should have busted him in his head for hitting you the first time. Now, she's not friends with her, but because the world has something to say, it's a whole trending situation, and she needs help, and their family needs healing, and they need all of these things. And the NFL didn't handle it correctly. The NFL has been doing what they normally do. They have been doing this for years. This is not a new practice. And if you dig in the crates, you will probably find that there is a whole lot backlogged from rape to domestic violence. Young people, minors, that should not have been touched. So America and YouTube, please let's stop acting like this is anything new. You are just mad now because you saw it. But here's where I have more of a problem. There are women who have a mindset. There are women who put their hands on men. There are women who tend to be triggers. There are women who believe that if you are not putting your hands on me, you do not love me. There are women who are entirely too intelligent and also may feel that we started from the bottom, now we're here, and I'm not willing to lose that position. And if I like it, or if I'm tolerating it, or there's nothing wrong, and let my home heal itself, and it's like ripping a Band-Aid off of old wounds, and we were trying to get back to, and now it's publicized, and we have to start and trying to get our family back to that. And the gist, people, is mind your business and don't tell me or get into what's going on in my house. And I say, and I am an advocate believer in this, if you like it, I love it. Now, I don't want people inboxing me and getting upset. And I don't want the comments, because I am a girl's girl all the way. There is pink through and through. I love the purples, but I wear the blues. I save more women mentally and everything else. And one thing I do not do is believe in domestic violence, because if you watch any other blog, you've heard me say I can't stand punk. But what you tell me to mind my business, and that you choose to wear your shades with a black eye, you like it. I love it. On to Peterson. He is also another NFL gentleman who seems to have a problem, and his is now can be considered domestic violence. His is with a child. So the child has bruises on him, and he says that he picked the switch to beat his child, to spank his child, and they show the pictures with the child with whelps on his leg. Now, again, I always speak from a place of wisdom, experience, or so forth, whether it's through my own trials or people that I have walked the road with them. YouTube in America, please let's stop acting as if spare the rod, spoil the child had not been literal for years. That is how many people were brought up. For whatever reasons, and I'm not going to get into the history, because some different ethnic Americans can't take the, don't like to have the conversation about, the Caucasian guilt and all of that. But it is what it is. And you need to have some type of ownership and not penalize those who were raised in an environment and culturally that you possibly do not understand. Now, I'm not saying that it is right, but I'm going to speak to a few ethnic groups who know the term, go pick a switch. I'm not saying that it's still okay. We know not to eat sugar and salt anymore. They have been doing that for years. I'm not saying that it's okay. I'm saying that there is another way to reprimand these children. Yes, it is. But I'm also noticing that in those other ethnic groups, we got mass murderers shooting up schools, talking to their parents in any way that they see fit. Shut up, Mom. Yeah. Slamming doors in their face, making bombs in their basement, rave parties, whippets. Ask certain other ethnic groups what a whippet is. They don't have a clue. There is a method to the madness. I'm not justifying certain behaviors, but I am saying that what I'm tired of is when it's not convenient for America to look at anymore, everyone hopping on a bandwagon. When it's a soapbox that now they don't want to feel the old guilt about, or topics that they don't discuss or don't comprehend culturally and don't bother or condescend to understand or talk to me. Now, how we function or other ethnic groups function is wrong. I can probably poll 100 African Americans or a few other occasions, let's mix it up, and ask them the different things that they got spankings with, or if they know the term pick a switch. And now it's a problem. Pick your battles, people, because that battle is not one that I think that we need to fight with that gentleman. Let's not start going through the NFL and penalizing all of the people who are now hurt. Let's penalize the NFL because you knew certain things, and now because your slip is showing, you want to let them hang. No. Ray Rice, you better sue him. They knew the whole time, and they told you let us handle it, and they handled it. Look, they lawyer pulled a whammy y'all ain't never seen. We can't get out of domestic violence situations. He got out of that. We can't get out of child neglect and abuse in all those situations. Please, let's not be fooled by any of that. They're only upset because now we know your true colors. Your true colors. Your true colors. And your slip is showing. Clean up your nose. You're looking like a little coke whore. For all of y'all who don't understand certain languages, I speak multiple languages. America and you too. Yeah, I'm on my soapbox tonight. This one was a long time coming. But when I say I'm a little tired, we're going to chalk this blog up to an event. Because what I don't like is for institutions and corporations to want to throw the rock and hide their hand. You got in a situation, now you knew about it, but you're going to make me feel like, or let me hang out to dry. Clean up yourself. You looking a little sloppy. Corporate, institutions, NFL, other ethnic groups, the Redskins. Oh, we're on a roll with the sports people because it's in shambles. And like I say, everything moves in a trend and everything's on, it's whatever's hot at the time. People are like sheep. You can lead them anywhere. There are no independent thinkers, by no means. So let's get into this next sports situation. But this one I stand by. I go with this one. The Redskins, and for those who don't know what that term refers to an Indian. And an Indian on national television broke down what that meant. And no, I mean Native American can trace their heritage, and you can still see it all in their face that he's Native American. Says that the Redskin term means once they had been beaten, killed, and bloodied. You called an Indian at the time of the wars of taking over their land and the savages and yada yada, Redskins, because their faces and body was covered in blood. We don't have a team called the Spics. I apologize for those with the faint hearts who think I'm being rude. Let's call a spade a spade. Today we going down this rabbit hole. We're going to sit at this kitchen table. There is no Spic team. Name-wise, no disrespect. There is no jigaboo teams anymore. Because a group of people said something about the derogatory terms. Now, the Redskins have been in place, but because this is an institution and America feels that it's been the Redskins for so many years, and let's not forget that Native Americans are non-existent in the grand scheme of things, people. They populated this was their land. They do not exist. Yes, remove the name. It is very disrespectful. And if we can't call other teams the Crackamunga, Kuka, whatever, give them their dignity and their respect that they deserve. They're entitled to stand up at some point because they're standing up peacefully because they did it the other way before and they were wiped out. Their bloodline is wiped out. I'm going to say that again. Their bloodline is wiped out. Let them have the last of whatever they have to change they got to change their jerseys. And they got to change their stadium because one of the stadiums, let's not be mistaken, the Seminoles, I think it is, or something like that, has an Indian climbing out the stadium. Oh, I'm well versed in a lot of things. Can't remember where I was at. I want to say I was in Virginia. I don't remember. But the point is I saw it. And it does exist. So do your homework and Google it. But people, it is in your face. Let the Redskins have their dignity. The last of which whatever they have, because they were a proud people. And if you don't see when somebody's wiping your pride and your dignity right off the table, then you have been lost. Like you was lost with the domestic violence thing, and it's cute, right? NBA. Oh, I was waiting for this blog. Yeah. NBA. So Bruce Levinson admits to sending out an email, let's say 2 years prior. Now what happens is, people, he admits to this, and Google all these people. I don't have time. It'll be forever. He admits to some derogatory comments in an email, but this is how they truly feel about us. They don't want to talk to us. They don't understand our body language. They don't like the way we look. And it's honest. And I say we because I have no shame in who I am, but I'm well versed when I need to be. They don't care for us. They don't care for you. Pay attention. He made some comments 2 years back, but here's what happened. The only reason that it got exposed is because someone else prior to him, I do my homework, Danny Ferry, lied. He put out an email about scouts and how a scout spoke to him and made some negative, derogatory African-American comments. Come to find out, it was a lie. But that's not the whole big thing to it. They do a investigation because the person's probably like, I never sent this email and I didn't, whatever. So they go back to see where it originally came from. Guess who it came from? Oh no, Danny Ferry, it came from you, you liar. So he makes up this whole thing about how the guy says that the guy looks like an African with a storefront, da 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 da. He lied. But while they're investigating, they say, what's this over here, by the way? What's this? What's this? See why people always want to keep everything on the low? Because they don't want to air everything else out. It's like saying, turn that camera on and tell me what happened on that camera. And they go, oh no, let's not turn the camera on. We're going to take your word for it. Or let's just push this out the way or get rid of the person that's telling. Because they don't really want to know what happened on that camera for all the other people that's about to get in the line of fire. So they give Bruce Levinson his out. And this is again with the institutions and the corporations. We'll let you resign. We'll let you take ownership before we out you. They gave him his dignity and his self-respect. So he comes across like, I've seen the error of my ways and I'm going to admit to these things, and these are things that I said 2 years ago, but with education I feel differently, and yada, yada, yada. But let's not be unclear about how it first began. Danny Ferry made up a story, and as he made it up, he truly slid in some subliminal things of how he felt or his views or whatever it was, whether it was a lie or not. Somewhere is an underlying story there. And then everything else fell out of the closet. But let's talk about the colorful language that was in those emails. As I keep reading the story and finding out how it really started to unfold, they say that they have seen colorful language. Come on, people. Let's take this walk down this rabbit hole. Let's take the jump. Let's take a leap and slide. And if you don't know what the rabbit hole is, Google that too. This is not the first time that these people have encountered colorful language in the description of African American athletes and Caucasian athletes. They go on to give examples of the different colorful languages that have been used. For African Americans, he's athletic, aggressive. I can't even begin because I don't have the article in front of me. Take a moment and read something. For the Caucasians, completely different language. Responsible, that's not one of the words. I can't think of what the other ones were, but they weren't athletic. What does that mean, people? That he can run and jump? He's a basketball player. Let's say for the African Americans, they use confrontational. It's confrontational. For the Caucasian, they use very thoughtful in their actions. It's the language that they use. It's an undertone that they use to describe people when they can't call you what they decided, or they can't speak a certain way because it's going by email, doctor's notes, reports, and things of that such that other people are going to now read. There is a way to read through that. And they admitted that many scouts have used these different languages, and they've seen it, and they can tell the difference when they read a Caucasian report and an African American report. So there is always a colorful languages, except that Danny Ferry jumped out the window, because what they said was they've never ran into a scout that spoke as such. But they do find that there is a difference, and a disparaging difference in how the two groups are treated. It's kind of sounding like the NFL and NBA have a lot of cleaning up to do. But how about this? You passive people. It sounds like America has a lot of conversing to do, a little bit of understanding, and a lot of acknowledging to do in their treatment of certain other groups of people. Because I just picked two, the Redskins and some African Americans. Who knew? And now we're going to pull out of that. Get off my soapbox, y'all. And I believe in separate but equal. Some people have a problem with that. Well, let's not forget, there have been towns and things like that way before that were separate but equal, that thrive. There was one time called Black Wall Street. People, do your homework. And listen, I'm not on my African American soapbox tonight, by no means. It may sound like it. I'm just trying to tell you to stop letting people tell you one thing and pay attention to what's been going on in front of you for a very long time. So the Scots, as in Scotland, for those who want to talk politics, now want to become independent. And to that, my dear people, I say kudos. If I could vote and it made a difference over here, I would say do that. Because if most only know Braveheart, and let's run with it, Braveheart is the movie. And it goes across all ethnic lines. Most people have seen Braveheart. And if that's all you know of the Scots and bagpipes and kilts, and Austin Powers, the fat guy, get in my belly, then let's run with it. The Scots were a community that thrived, were functioning, were very powerful, prideful, and so forth. If you're starting to pick up a theme here, let's go with it. Who did not need to be part of any other nations, Ireland, at some point were moved in by the British in Ireland. Now they did concede and they become part of and so forth and so forth. But now a people who says, let me get back to who I am. Let me get back to my country. Let me get back to all of what our 50 fathers, forefathers, and who so forth fought for. We want to be independent. And here's another thing. We don't like your nasty, slimy, grimy ways, and we don't need you to function. Get your missiles off of my land. There's always more to the story. And let us go back to the beautiful country that we were before you were here as the Irish and the British. There's always a theme in colors. People get really heated about it in the U.S. Europe has their reasoning. They have a different understanding and their mind breaks down a little different as opposed to, I'm going to say, Americans in the U.S. They have a reason for their blues, their reds, and so forth. And the flag for the Scots is blue and white. They want their whole flag back. They don't even, listen, y'all keep that flag. Like, it's ever so for real. They are also another people who have a group of people who feel they're better than them. And they say, you know what? If you're better than us, prove it to us. Because we will find without you. So kudos to the Scotts. Yes, my last name is Grace. Now, I don't have a drop of that in me. I'm pretty sure it's been removed 50 times over, right? But here's enough of what I know about me. I knew my last name was Scottish. And I know my first name is Indian. So if there's not a drop, which there is in your maternal side, people do your homework, of your complete breakdown, I do believe in separate but equal. Whichever way you want to slice me. And Rihanna. No segues. Straight into it, right, people? Rihanna. Last but not least. Only because, and this is why I say that, I don't do this. I don't do celeb talk. I don't do this crap, whatever everybody else does. If you want to use your brain past a certain point, you know, it's the same thing if you go to class and your professor's talking and you falling asleep, or classes that you don't really have any more interest in or whatever. When you need to actually exercise your mind, or let's have a dialogue, or let's have whatever. If I don't deal with you, it's probably because you have nothing that I want to hear. Let's have a conversation, but I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to have a dumb down because it serves me a purpose. So Rihanna goes in on CBS. And finally, thank you, my dear. There is something to be said in being a woman, being demure, and being a lady. There's a difference, people. And being a lady. So to withdraw sometimes is best. You pick your battles, and sometimes you don't say much about why somebody probably beat the brakes off of you. And not to say that she has nothing to do with any of the reasonings that it may have happened. But CBS pulls Rihanna's song, "We Gonna Run This Town Tonight," because, and they did not say this, but there are not many other reasons besides that she's not exactly the best role model. But really, what has she done besides be naked? When you go over to Europe, they do the news naked. They do the weather naked. Almost. People lay all over the beaches naked. It's here, America. We the pent up ones. So she has no body image issues. That's the only thing you're going to hold against her. That she says, F you. I don't need you in my life. I don't need you in my business. I'm going to do what I want to do because I'm only beholden unto myself. I don't owe you anything. I give you good songs. That's my job. Mind your business. So what other reasons do they have to pull her song but her domestic violence situation? But here's where I was finally happy with this young lady. I always liked her. But here's where I was happy. As in Kanye saying that such and such doesn't like black people. That hold on, we see what y'all doing. Y'all giving her some shine to make her move forward. But this young lady had one of the best. He didn't do it the right way. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. But however, let's call a spade, people. And let's jump with no parachutes down this rabbit hole. She's a domestic violence survivor. She's a survivor. And she did it with as much class and tact as she could muster that anybody would not let her have, because they still exposed her pictures when she was trying to live through it and mind her business and get through it the best way that she could. They pulled her song, people. Why? And she aired them out. If you don't know what that means, she gave them the business. How dare you penalize me? I'm the victim. And that victim stuff is way overrated. Google that too. It's hilarious. It's quite funny, but it's not. Because it still goes on. I get hurt. You want to penalize me for getting hurt. Hold on. Where's your responsibility in any of this? She got hurt. She mind her business. Has nothing to do with CBS. It doesn't leave a black eye on them. CBS's emblem is an eye, people. I don't think y'all are getting this. And you blame her. Or snatch her because of what she projects and what her image is and so forth and so forth. You didn't know that when you picked her? I see worse commercials than that. It's about the dollar, people. It's what people were going to say, and how could you put, and yada, yada, yada. And I'm glad she finally opened her mouth, stand for something, or fall for everything. You're not going to penalize me for something that happened to me. Kudos, young lady. Kudos. You do not have to be the victim. That victim crap is way overrated, Day Day. Don't be a victim. Open your mouth. And even if it's against CBS, she's in a different position, people, so don't lose your jobs. But even if it's against CBS, how dare you chastise me for me getting hurt? And I'm wrong. So with that, people, was Treats TV. I haven't done a long vlog in a long time, so don't be mad. Embrace me. This is one for your dishes and your cleanup and your Sunday, even if I post it on a Wednesday or Thursday. Take some time to take a trip with me down this rabbit hole. You might be surprised at some of the things you see. See you next week.